Okay. Good evening. You are watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas on XZ's TV, live streamed by Noxtrom Digital Media right here at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator, 720 Ouellette. Tonight on the Convergence Report, we're going to take a look at the Fed elections, the results that happened yesterday, kind of tie that into our own by-election and how politics affects all of politics. And of course, we'll take a little bit of my Facebook karma. And with a lot of Black Friday football, Windsor-Essex, Thanksgiving. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I will be back right after this. This is the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas, live streamed by Noxtrom Digital Media for XZ's TV right here at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator, 720 Ouellette.
You're watching XZ TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor from the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and this is the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back. You're watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas. The first thing I'm going to talk about, Alex, you can pop up my next little slide there. I kind of changed a little bit of flavor of it just for the time. Let's get right to the next live stream. That's the one. And you know what? And it's announcing our own news from our own press release. Noxtrom supporting the Windsor Express professional basketball team with digital media needs. We are back to live streaming the Express. We did them last year for the full season, and we just did the last two games. And we've been given the opportunity, and it was. And I'm going to say it wasn't last minute notice. It was kind of set up, and our co-producer here, Alex Diamero, had about 40 hours to put it all together, and he did. And we kind of a little glitchy the first game, and then in the second game we kind of put together a little bit better. And we're streaming with Sports Live 24 out of the National Basketball League of Canada. And again, this is what we'll be doing going forward. And you're going to see the product get each week is going to be a bit better. And we can't wait to continue to do this between Ashley Nicole helping Alex with a little bit of producing, Mike Thomas. I did the second game, and we have Betty Goodell, and we're all as a team going to go forward and support the Windsor Express in this, what we're going to say is going to be an excellent season. It was going to result in a championship for Dartis Willis and the team. And if you need, we're also saying we'll have some commercials on there, but please take a look. If you're looking at advertising, you're looking at some sponsorship opportunities, you need to get a hold of us at Noxtrom Digital Media or XZ's TV. Please take a look at our website at www.noxtrom.com, and there is some information there that you can fill in, because help us support the Windsor Express, and it's going to be, again, a great season to be part of the Windsor Express. Mark my words on that one. Again, looking forward, we're looking forward to it. Don't forget. Okay, check us out. Ask for the information, and we'll go forward. Okay. What happened was also we had the federal election, the federal by-elections. And everybody was really watching these ones. You've got kind of the NDP as the official opposition. You had 4 seats available, including Bob Ray's seat in Toronto Centre from his retirement from politics. And again, everybody was kind of saying, what's going to happen? Did the Senate fiasco, the continuing Senate fiasco, and everything else around the Stephen Harper government, was that really going to continue to affect these particular elections? Were they going to make a difference? And we kind of seen right off the bat, I call it the three, if you give me my next slide up there, Alex, the 308 bell tolls, and that is who I kind of watch. That's who I kind of www.308.com as far as their polling system. They really kind of take a hard look. They follow it pretty good, and and they said if you go to their site and they kind of do a breakdown from the foreign polls and their own polls, and show that they've been pretty dead on the money as far as predicting the outcomes of these elections. And here we go. There was 4 federal by-elections. The Liberals retaining Barassa and Toronto Centre. In the Toronto Centre one, I'll talk about in a minute, was kind of a disappointment for Linda McQuaig from running on behalf of the NDP. They really thought that they were going to make a big difference there. And of course, you had the other 2 elections, and I think it was Manitoba area. You have Provencher, and you had Brandon Suarez, and they were both kind of really, they were kind of, the Tories were supposed to take it. You had one that he had the one riding that he really had been in power for almost for 60 years, other than one term. And in fact, it got really close there, about 400 short vote. The Liberals almost pulled it off. That's really what happened there. So it kind of looking at it, Toronto Centre, it was about 49% Liberal. The NDP tried to do their very best. They come out 36-4, and really that one there kind of showed the PC party was not really a factor, or the Conservatives were not really a factor in that one at all. So that one definitely went to Liberals. And again, the NDP really thought they had made some major inroads and was really going to make a difference. Toronto, especially with all that Conservative stuff going on with Rob Ford. Provencher, that was another one, and that was a walk. They kind of predicted it to be a walk. At Ted Falk over Terry Hayward, about 58%. And again, that one kind of makes it even one-on-one between Liberals and the Conservatives. Brandon Suarez, that was the one that it really came down to, and looks like about 400 votes. These were the preliminary results. They're probably going to do a vote. There's probably another count there, as they only won by about 1.4% as far as for Larry Maguire. Larry Maguire over Rolf Dinsdale, and they really thought they were going to get that one. And of course, Bourassa in Quebec, the Bourassa riding, the Liberals kind of took that 48.1%. The Bloc Quebec were about 13%. But really, they say the disappointing one, and here was the NDP kind of losing that Quebec wave that Jack Layton brought them to official opposition in the actual not the by-election, but the actual federal election. So if you're kind of looking at where the disappointment is, the disappointment lies on the NDP side right now. As it was a seat that they were trying to take, so it really hasn't affected the numbers that much. But it really showed that where were they? Like they had a potential of 2, they did not get them. So we really kind of question where the orange wave is at this point in time. And again, an established Tory riding, I guess that would have been it. But I kind of crunched my own numbers here and looking at percentage of voters. Okay, 38% in Toronto, 33% in Provencher, 44% in Brandon. So like they got out to vote at least. And looking at it really down in Quebec at about 26%. So is that really federal by-election or by-election issues? Less people vote. They really know the incumbents are going to get in. So why bother? Was it the weather a factor? A lot of those issues, or really. And we're hearing it quite a bit. You've got to hear it when you're talking to people about politics. They are definitely getting extremely tired. Okay, there are a lot of trust issues. I don't think they want their politicians, okay, to be up and above board. And we see between the mess with Harper, which I'll talk about in a minute, and what Rob Ford. And it's all been quiet now for at least for a week, and we got some different news going on for a change. But really, people are tired of all that stuff going on, and that really happens. So on the next slide up there, Alex, we'll do the 7-11. We'll hit the 7-11 again, okay, for the Ward 7 by-election. It is coming. It's here. Who can believe this time has flew by this quickly? We're looking at it is upcoming Monday, December 9th. The advanced polls were on the weekend, and they had the couple of debates. They had the big debate at the Kubota Club through the Windsor Chamber of Commerce, and there was a little disappointment with the turnout. Again, it's a by-election. Again, people kind of look at it as 11 people running. And they had to actually I was watching the kind of review on Cogeco. They had to break the candidates down into 2 blocks because you really couldn't have 11 people standing there, 11 people trying to input an answer. So they kind of broke it up that way. And I think that gets difficult. That's difficult for all the candidates because I should have maybe researched a little bit more. Was it by straw how you got into your block of candidates? If you really wanted to take on. I'm not going to say front runner, but take on the candidate like Angelo Marignani or some of the front. I'm going to say call them like they're considered to be front runners. Who's the front runners? Who's not the front runners? And 11 people. But if you want to debate somebody entirely like Tom Wilson, that one candidate, Tosin Bello, was just really taking hard hits at Wilson over in regards to his absenteeism issue for being on council a number of years ago, and here Tom Wilson can step up and answer that particular candidate or that candidate's claims himself. So I think that is kind of, again, a little bit difficult to have to deal with. And again, Jerry doing the very best we can to get the information out there to try to drum up some support behind this election because it's really important. Okay, really important going forward. We've got to get people to buy back into politics. It's a by-election. Buy back into it and try to. It's so important to make these decisions. It's so important to ask questions. It's so important to answer the door nowadays. I know it's a different world. We're such an online world that we rather sit there and just kind of bop through it, and we really don't want that interaction because we don't want to be bothered. But really and truly, I guess we need to do that. So, in saying that, you know what? We're going to take a break. I am Mike Thomas. This is the Convergence Report. It's live streamed by Noxtrom Digital Media, who supports the Windsor Express right here on XE's TV from the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator at 720 Ouellette. Okay? Come down, take a look in the window, say hi. Okay? We will be back right after this.
You're watching XTV, streaming live from downtown Windsor for the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and this is the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back. You're watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas. Alex, see my next slide up there. I want people to be able to find us. It's XE's TV. You can watch us live stream right now. Okay, and if you're watching live, I thank you for watching live and keep hanging in there. The shows, you know what? This is what it's all about. The best local programming in the Windsor-Essex area. Okay, and if you kind of missed it, do remember you kind of pop in, pop out, take a look. You can see it up on YouTube. We'll post it up on YouTube, and you can dissect it, make some comments, let us know what you feel about the Convergence Report and all. Okay, and all the shows, Beyond Incredible to Ashley Nicole, and of course Betty and a Go with Betty Goodell. Please let us know what you think. Going forward, we're here to give you good content. And I just forgot this one little part. I have all my notes in order. I got to do this and that. There was today's Yahoo poll because we did have a federal election. It really didn't make a difference. And what is happening? Okay, who was a successor? I talked about that. Is it Justin Trudeau, Thomas Mulcair? Did Harper take a hit? And we're looking at what it is, the Yahoo poll itself. It's showing with 36% would vote federally for the Liberals right now if there was election, which Stephen Harper doesn't have to worry about it because he's still got 2 years. Okay, PCs are at 32%. The NDP, again, for the official opposition, they've now dropped down to 15% in this particular Yahoo poll. So again, you got to be careful. Green Party at 5%, and ones that said, I won't vote, I don't care, is 12%, and that is something we really need to watch. Watch that number as the polling stations go moving forward, and do we get out of this mess? Can Harper dance the dance and get out of it? He's very quiet right now. Okay, he was really cocky a couple months ago. Okay, but really quiet right now, and I kind of find that funny. Okay, so we'll talk about him again. I go back to Stephen Harper. Jesus, it's almost my whole show. Next slide, please, Alex. In regards to, and I call it Heinz the aftermath. It's just you really want Kathleen Wynne comes down and she pledges $200,000. Okay, that's nice. That kind of appeases the community for a second. I guess Mayor Patterson is trying to meet with Heinz. There was supposed to be a meeting, and for life of me, I searched. I go, did I miss the meeting or whatever? I think there was some weather issues, and they couldn't come in, and they're going to try to reschedule. Honestly, I'm going to research it, report on it next week. They're trying to figure out what's going on. There's been a they're all coming out of the woodwork. Everybody wasn't saying anything when everybody said, you got to say something about Leamington. So Tim Hudak's coming down. Okay, Watson all of a sudden federally says, yeah, we're there to help you. Like he wasn't there when they first started talking about it. You almost had to chase him down to get him to make a comment. I don't understand why it takes so long for some politicians to react. It's so daunting what's going to happen to Leamington. We've talked about Windsor. We've had some major closures in Windsor going back to like the announcements of 2009, 2010, Windsor Transmission being one of them, or GM, and quite honestly, you didn't see that type of community support. You didn't see the drive. So maybe it's a smaller community that knows how greatly they're affected and how it like I guess as Sandra Pupatello had said, it's a community and businesses and farmers that it's all dovetailed together. Okay, and then once you break apart the one, the rest all falls apart, and so it's becoming very, very critical. They don't want to wait a year. You've got some groups trying to get it together, trying to drum up the support, and I think what's happening, maybe this is one of the big first time I've seen more demand okay, to support what's happening around you. A lot of people didn't care. They got, it's global. It's global. I got to go where it's cheap. I got to have this. You know what? It's got to be fair for everybody. The rules got to be fair. Well, you know what? When they're closing plants and people are losing their jobs, and we got 9-10% unemployment across the board, people are starting to say, well, what can I do to make a difference? You know, oh, maybe if I buy the products that our own country makes, and maybe we develop those products and we add more business and we add more investment and we stop this letting the money run like a tap into A, number one, the US, and B, number two, to China, that maybe we can have a better quality of life. So give me my next slide up there, Alex. Okay, and maybe this will be the first ones, or one of the very first ones, to start taking it to task. And it's the Leamington Stand Strong. It's Facebook. Okay, you can get them on Facebook. You can see the kind of coverage they're getting. It's starting off strong, and they're getting a lot of community support, and they're getting a lot of media support, and that's the important part of it. Let's not do it now because it's the best thing to do. Let's continue to find out between now and the closure date to keep it strong, to see how many people, to see how many likes. They had about 1,000 people liking them immediately as soon as they put it up on Facebook. So let it support community stand. Leamington Stand Strong with community support. And we need to do that, and we need to branch it into Windsor. We got to get away from the separation between Windsor-Essex. We call it Windsor-Essex, okay, and it's Windsor-Essex, Chatham, Kent, Southwestern Ontario, Windsor-Essex, Chatham, Kent, Southwestern Ontario needs to stand strong also, and maybe we can start affecting some change and getting some good quality jobs back in this area. That once it was those types of jobs. Okay, good jobs, good paying jobs. So people weren't afraid if they had dental issues or if they had medical issues. They had decent benefits, and we saw how this built. And we've just recently saw how it's been torn down. So again, that's really disappointing. So keep following that. I think that's a good thing to do. And you know what? It's my same old thing. Okay, the Harper Duffy report. Next slide. There they are again. Okay, there's Nigel Wright. You know what? He's back. He's gone. And now all kind of questions are coming up. And to give you my next slide, Alex, because we're going to say it's kind of, you know, connecting the duffs. They call it connecting the duffs or connecting the dots. But you know what? It's starting to happen. It's starting to happen, and everybody's starting to say, he kept on saying that it didn't happen. There was no meeting, then there was a meeting. Okay, it was all Nigel, then it wasn't all Nigel. And you know, when they got the RCMP to kind of do what they need to do, a lot are coming out in the reports now. A lot of things are happening, and you can't keep on denying that these things didn't happen. Okay, and who agreed to it, and who said it was okay, and who said you could charge those types of bills. And who, like, it's washing. That you want to talk about rolling downhill? Okay, it's not rolling uphill. It's rolling downhill right now, and it's all coming to Stephen Harper. And he keeps trying to deflect it. He keeps trying to do everything and anything to say, you know what, I wasn't part of this. You know, first he resigned. Remember, Nigel resigned, and then he was fired, and then he, you know, again, Harper didn't know. He didn't know part of the plan. Didn't know Plan A. Didn't agree to Plan C. Emails. You know what? Facebook karma. Okay, you type it, you press send. Guess what? Somebody's got it, and they also check out who received it. You can say, I didn't get it, I didn't open it, I didn't do that. You were definitely on the list. You were one of the people that knew about what was going on. And they're saying that's what exactly we're saying. This is from the Canadian Press and Jennifer Ditchburn. I've just got a couple things. They say there's two clear but very different versions of events that have since emerged because of the RCMP. Nigel Wright meets with Harper and conceals the details of an agreement with Duffy, but then tells all the other staff, he tells everybody else, okay, that the PM had approved the deal. Okay, did that happen or not? Harper was informed and approved of a deal or parts of a deal that could be turned out to be criminal. Which is really happening here? What did he know? What didn't he know? And then you can blame everybody around you. Okay, it's all coming back to you. That is the reality, no doubt. Okay, so I'll give you my next one. Facebook karma there, Alex. Okay. And here we go, Facebook karma. You know, and I had an ethical debate on what to do here. I know the holidays are coming, and I didn't know what to do, but I think, you know what, it's so very important when politicians wish all their constituents a very Merry Christmas. And again, using social media for that, I think is so very, very important. So here we go. Give me my next slide up there, Alex. Okay, hopefully we'll get a few comments. And just a little Merry Christmas from Rob Ford. Okay, it was on Facebook. I grabbed it from Facebook, Facebook karma. Okay, people are very creative, no different than the Rick Mercer shows of the world and everything else. So anyways, a very, very Merry Christmas from Rob Ford. And he turned out to be very, very quiet again recently. After they stripped his powers and after he was saying he attacked Kuwait, you know what, it must have been his advisors or his brother or his mother got him, locked him in the basement and said, just be quiet for a little bit, okay, and give it a break. And then stuff like Merry Christmas from Rob Ford won't pop up on Facebook. Okay. Anyways, unbelievable. So with that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. You know what, just because I've been ranting on and on here, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. You're watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas. Okay, live stream by Noxtrom Digital Media on XE's TV right here from the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator. I'll be back, and we'll be talking Canada stuff after this.
You're watching XE's TV, streaming live from downtown Windsor for the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and this is the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back, and you're watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas, and again, the same spiel. Okay, check us out. Okay, on YouTube. Okay, live stream by Noxtrom Digital Media. This is XE's TV, and we are talking Canadian football. Is my slide up there, Alex? There we go. We are talking Canadian football. It was the 101 Grey Cup. We had the Saskatchewan Roughriders up against the Hamilton Ticats. I talked about that last week. And you're trying to effect some great change here in southwestern Ontario, saying Canadian football. And there's a lot of people. You know, I know there's some people I kind of watch on Facebook. There are people that have Canadian. You know, they definitely have Grey Cup parties and have people over, just like it's Super Bowl Sunday for us Americanized Canadians or whatever. But that was the game. There is a Windsor tie. There's a couple Windsor ties with the Ticats alone, with Brian Bilkey from Windsor, and also Andy Fantus has some connections to Windsor Chatham, and so therefore, you know what, there was some great reasons in this particular area to watch the game, and we are all expecting great things. I think on the Hamilton side, I was pulling for Hamilton myself. I think a little bit. My next slide up there to check out the score. It was a third year in a row that one of the teams was like basically the home team. It was played in Saskatchewan for the Roughriders, and from what I kind of watched and researched, man, they are, you know, when we think the Green Bay Packer fans are crazy, the Saskatchewan Roughrider fans are just as crazy and dedicated to their team. And they said it really kind of came out that way. It was almost like you're playing an extreme home game. The weather was, the outside weather was brutal, and it kind of took Hamilton. It took the Ticats back a little bit, and they kind of got behind a little quick. I think it was 23-6 at one point in time for Saskatchewan, and they said the crowd really made a huge difference. They stone colded the Ticats when they made the announcements on the defense, and then cheered through the roof for anything Rough Riders. And they said it really believed it was Milt Stegall of TSN that said he really believes the fans kind of got in the Hamilton Ticats' head. This was a younger team up against a veteran team of Saskatchewan, and it kind of played out that way. And you know, Hamilton did not give up. They kept pounding the turf, the frozen turf, to try to get back in the game. But the end final score was 45-23 for Rider Nation. Okay, and celebrating the win for the 2013 Grey Cup. Okay, and better luck next year, Hamilton, and congratulations, Saskatchewan. Okay, so here's our next one, as we kind of delve into what we call Southwestern Ontario football. Shiver me timbers, I'm going to say, because it was the Buccaneers. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 27 against Detroit's 24, and every time, if you're a Lion fan, or if you were watching the CFL game, you were watching the Lions game or over at Ford Field, it was like, it was, gosh darn it, we lost 27-24, and we couldn't believe, again, some of the plays that happened to us that led to the game going in that direction. We really thought we were going to pull it out at the end, very similar to Dallas. I will commit, honestly, right now, the fans stayed this time, and they watched it to the very end, but without the same results of the Dallas game. So we lost 27-24. We are still tied for first with the Chicago Bears, with the Green Bay right behind us. Green Bay and Minnesota tied, so that really kind of put that, somebody got a tie in that thing? Oh, man, especially with Detroit playing Green Bay coming up. So next slide. Alex, I'll try to finish up as quick as I can. I'm going to have to play them all. They're all too good. So that's what I said. It's Windsor-Essex time. It is turkey time. The happy Canadian Thanksgiving or an American Thanksgiving. So it depends upon where you work. And if you work in a big 3 plant, and tied to the Americans still celebrate their Thanksgiving, and it really affects parts supply and things like that. So some plants actually get the day off. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. So we get 2 in a year, and that's what's up. It is Windsor-Essex. It is turkey time. And if it is turkey time, look what's happening next. Because, Southwestern Ontario's gone crazy. Windsor's gone crazy. Oh, those crazy Canucks, look at that. Canadian Tire's haven't. No, put that back. I'm talking about Black Friday. There we go. Our own Black Friday. We finally had enough. There's so many people and so many of the retailers down here. What are you doing about it? And it's craziness. Michael's had it lined up all around everywhere, selling some good stuff, some good Christmas decorations. And here, Canadian Tire and a lot of the other retailers. And it starts with Red Thursday, taking them on head to head, and then you guys can have your Black Friday and a Friday. But it goes crazy Canucks. We're coming. Okay, so in my next slide, and that's what we're talking about. Okay, and it's time to play some football. Okay, now that the Canadian football season has ended, you got Green Bay, Detroit, and again, it's just a pivotal game in this season for both teams. Aaron Rodgers trying to get back for Green Bay, and doesn't look like he's going to make it back again. So it's going to be home. We're going to be at Ford Field again. Okay, a home game, T-Day. Okay, waiting to see what's going to happen. Could make a big difference. Okay, in the season for one or the other team is going to make a big direction. And okay, I'm going to try to finish up here for Alex. Okay, because we've got Betty on the go following immediately. And I kind of talked about this last week. It was announcing Winterfest 2013. They're having a great big event on the 29th at the Boom Boom Room. You can buy tickets and support and have a chance to win some prizes. And then the parade marshal will be Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe himself. So that was going to happen on November 30th for the Winterfest parade at 3 p.m. So please come on out and support Winterfest. Downtown Windsor. We're at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator. This has been, again, the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. No, we can do that. Well, you can tweet me. Tweet me at Writer Miker. You know what? I want people, dial in and let me know what you're thinking about our show or all the content on Noxtrom Digital Media, or even let me know what you're thinking about Windsor Express. Talk about the Windsor Express going forward. Support the team. Okay. And again, this is the Convergence Report. Noxtrom Digital Media, XE's TV, right here at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator. Okay. I am Mike Thomas. I will see you next week, and it's probably going to be on Tuesday, but I'll see you next week.